Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we're going to do a character guide on Sice. So in this video, we're going to look at her calls, her artifacts, and her spears. I basically went from saying I wasn't even going to pull for Sice FR to basically maxing her out, so we are going to see a max out Sice in this video, and I don't mind it. She's a really, really cool character, so you can decide for yourself if you like Sice or not after watching this video. So if you're unfamiliar with Sice, she is a very unique character. I would consider her like a utility character, so she would kind of be like a slot 3 type role. I would still want to pair her with a good support and a good DPS character, right? So basically what she does is she has dodging, she has delay, and then she has traps, and her traps are pretty powerful, and that's pretty much the big reason you want to run her. And she also does dark damage, and she has dark imperil as well, so that's very good there. So she's very cool, and we're going to show an interesting interaction with her in this video with Laguna. She does pair well with Laguna. She does just pair well in general with other off turns, and I think her FR pairs well with other off turns as well, right? So we'll talk about that when we get to it. But let's look at her calls right away. So her Dark Nebula doesn't really do any caller effect, but it is a 2-turn delay, so it's an on-demand delay, which is awesome. And then her LD is decent in that it provides her trap. So if you want to just quickly be able to apply a trap and have that going, that's pretty cool. And it also does Dark Imperil, and the trap does dark damage, so it's a way to get some dark damage in as well. So the trap, or her call, could have some uses. It's not like a top tier call, but it's definitely not a bad call. I think you can get some use out of that for sure. So let's go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at Sice herself. So for her artifacts and her spheres, her artifacts are pretty easy. I would just go attack 108 and Lone Wolf Warrior up, which is basically going to give her all stats 5%. So you definitely want that C50, that Lone Wolf, and then attack 108. As a damage dealer, primarily, you do want to give her a lot of attack, so definitely prioritize that. Then we're going to go ahead and look at the spheres. I would say attack and brave damage are very important for her. She's going to be doing a lot of brave hits with her traps. You're going to be doing a lot of damage that way. I think Rydia is very good here because Rydia is brave damage and attack, and it does weakness damage. I refined a bunch, so I actually have multiple Rydia spheres on her. You could also do Jack, which does brave damage and attack as well. I actually put her own on, which is a big fat. It's a physical 15% up when attacking weakness. So it's similar to like a Raijin sphere in terms of like power. So that's a very powerful physical attack up. So I decided to just throw it on her. It's her own sphere. But I would say like attack spheres are probably just a little bit better. So you could do like Sephiroth or any of those other like just good attack max brave ones, or just really big attack ones. But I would say if you got like Rydia's would be really good just because she's already doing the weakness damage, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna hop in, and you can see my girl's decked out here. I force enhance 30 her. The reason why I decided to go in on her out of nowhere is because I was looking at her. I'm like, oh, I blued her armor the last time she came out. It's like if I invested in the blue, I might as well just max her out. So I did do a couple hundred tickets to get an FR, max the FR. I had plenty of Force Stones actually, so I was good to Force Enhance 30 her. And I happen to have the Ultimate Weapon, so this is going to be a pretty maxed out Sice all of a sudden out of nowhere. At first I was debating whether I was going to redo the guide, but definitely going to do it now. And so here's the team build I'm going to run for the showcase. I'm going to showcase kind of an exploit with Laguna you can do that's pretty cool, and then we'll have Pinello around as well. So let's go ahead and hop in, and we're just going to do the generic showcase fight that I like to do here, and I don't really need to worry about a friend unit. That's fine. Just hop in and show my girl Sice off. I did bring the Luna Freya call so I can get her a few turns when I want to during force time, right? Alright, so with Sice, there is a particular way I personally like to start. Let me go ahead and sure, we'll just put Laguna's trap on like immediately because we'll just have that going, right? Actually, I want to put a Raijin on too. The thing you have to be careful with is when running Laguna and Sice, it is going to be a very debuff heavy team. You got to be careful about putting too many debuffs on. But Desperado, we have room to put that on, and I got to make sure I get Sice's trap on too. I just want to make sure not to go too crazy with Laguna. With Laguna, I might be like HP plusing or something, because if I drop too many debuffs, it could be bad. But yeah, we want that gold debuff up. Now the gold debuff is only a 4-turn debuff, but we can really abuse it with like this combination of Sice and Pinello, and you'll see that. So when you open up with Sice, she's going to get a free skill use. And what I would recommend is do the 15 or 35. My personal recommendation is to do the 15. So we're going to start with the 15, which is Phantom Scythe. This is going to be AoE. And what this is going to do, this is going to give her her evasion up buff. So she's got 4 turns of 100% evasion. And then she has her overhead, which is called Malice. And it gives a stack of that. And the stacks are important on Malice because it gives her attack, brave damage, HP damage, and overflow stolen up. But as the stacks go up, it increases. And it's pretty significant. So you want to get that stuff all increased up and keep that up. And the only way that Sice will lose stacks is if she gets broken. So provided you upkeep her dodge, she's never going to get broken and she should be able to upkeep that. But I like to hit that right away to make sure I've got the evade on and I get the stacks on right away, right? Now after that, you could go into EX, you could go into LD. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the EX. So negative aura is the EX and it has a plus and a plus plus version. You get the plus plus version when you have 2 stacks of aura plus, or when you have 2 stacks of Malice. So it's nice that she gets back-to-back turns with a free skill use, because then I can open Phantom Sight to put the dodge on, get my Malice stacks up, and now I've got negative aura double plus. So let's go ahead and pop that on the EX. Now this is really cool. I can't showcase it well here, but watch what the A enemy does when I press this. Okay, this is a very unique type of delay that she's got. Okay, so right there, you just saw A go behind B. So it didn't look crazy right there, but what it does that's unique is whatever enemy turn is the farthest back, it will move their turn behind that enemy. So if the B enemy had been like 2 or 3 turns back, it would have pushed them all the way back behind that. So I might try to manipulate and get the enemy split up a little bit so we can see that a little bit more later on. Let's go ahead and sure, we can go ahead and do some Penelo stuff here. Well, let's do a little bit of ramping here. I'll probably wait to go crazy on the ramping. Sure, let's drop the BT effect. That sounds pretty good. I should have done single target to like split the enemies up more. This is going to be AoE, I believe. Yeah, her BT should be AoE for brave damage. But let's get that up. Okay. Oh no, it actually didn't break. That's actually good. Okay, now you can see Desperado is going to hit the enemies after any time they take HP damage. We'll remember that, right? Alright, so what I'm going to do is, does this do brave damage too? Great, brave and single target. Yeah, let's just do the single target HP attack. So, oh, it did AoE. What? Oh, his HP attack was AoE. Dang it, I wanted single target. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so we've shown that. Now what I would do is we could go into like AA here if we want to. It does add stacks of Malice, so in case you just need more stacks, you can pop the AA. But it does give her attack and brave damage limit up for 2 turns. And what? Yeah, we saw that the Desperado went there as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the LD. So this is the main kind of meaty part of her damage. So let's go ahead and pop that. And let's see what the damage is looking like here on the LD. Alright, about a mil AoE, and then we got the Desperado after, right? Now what you're going to see here is it applied a trap. And it's 15 turns, this Tenacious Vortex. Every time an action is taken, they are going to take trap damage, and it's any action, okay? And now you see Desperado's going off like crazy. So this is the cool interaction, okay? Okay, we're gonna see it with Penelo here. We're gonna abuse this, but you just see traps just like going like insane, like crazy. So, okay. Let me go through the LD here first. So it's a dark AoE, dark damage, and she gets free ability use on her next turn. It puts the Tenacious Vortex debuff on the enemy. So 15 turns. So the reason why this is abusable with Laguna is for Laguna's trap to go off, the enemies have to take HP damage. And what happens is if I'm ramping with Penelo, I'm not doing HP damage, so it's not going off. But the Tenacious Vortex does go with any action, and then since Tenacious Vortex does HP damage, it triggers Laguna's traps. And Laguna's traps will trigger twice because each enemy takes HP damage. So what you're going to see is every time I do an action, you're going to see multiple Dark Tornadoes and you're going to see multiple of Lagunas. So let's ramp into a Force time. I know normally I'd want to use Fatal Dance here, but this isn't her showcase. So let's ramp, and there you go. 1 Tornado, 2 Tornadoes, 1 Laguna, and these are AoE, and then 2 Laguna. So every time I ramp, I'm getting 4 off-turn attacks here. Kind of crazy, so I'm just going to keep ramping. Oh, I could do Intercession actually too. And then, so the reason why this is abusable, so the Tenacious Vortex, it's got 15 turns, but every time they take Tenacious Vortex, every time they get hit with it, it does decrease. So you notice they're down to 11 turns of it. Laguna's debuff, on the other hand, is very low turn count, but it doesn't go away, and it can keep triggering. So what I can do basically is I can burn out Tenacious Vortex while abusing Laguna, And we can do this during a force time. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to ramp all the way in the force. Now I know I haven't shown off the 35 attack yet, but that's very easy. We can do that during force time. But I want to just show the absolute abuse of this Laguna Tornado combo. And I might end up doing this on one of my Shinryu runs. We'll see. Alright, so we're going to keep ramping. Yep, we'll just keep ramping away. Okay. And you can see the enemies are going to be below 80% by the time we even do anything. Because once again, the damage isn't insane, but like it adds up. It adds up turn after turn after turn, right? It's definitely going to add up. Alright, so it's Haste Rumba again. I just got to make sure I'm up to FR readiness. Alright, so I should be able to time this so that we will have Pinello's BT effect up. So I'm going to do one more ramp. And then I can do a Fatal Dance, and then that should end it for Pinello. So then that should be good, and then we can Fatal Dance, and we should be there. But you can see as I ramp, I keep getting tornadoes. Now the tornadoes are still at 7, so I still have 7 turns of tornadoes, or 7 tornado attacks coming through. And then the Lagunas doesn't count down, so they keep going. Alright, so now let's go ahead and let's Fatal Dance. Pop a big attack here. And then this will trigger all the traps, yep. Alright, so the enemies are going to kind of stay stuck together, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to show off that EX thing, but you get the idea that if the enemies were split up, it'll push one back behind the other, which is really cool. Alright, so Laguna's trap is still up. All the traps are up, so now I could do an attack. Alright, let's do his LD, because then he gets follow-up, sure. Let's do Laguna's LD. Or give it, not follow-ups, but it's like double attacks, right? Hey, look, the fairies are here. Let's attack again. Okay. Alright. So now with Sice, what we're going to do is we are going to go into force. And we're going to kind of explain the force time. So in order to do this, I mean, these guys are getting melted pretty good without force time because there's so much trap damage, right? Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to Luna Freya LD to get a couple of turns to kind of get this going. And then we can use FR and then get like another attack in. And these tornadoes are going to be crazy. So Sice's is interesting in that she has a really nice off-turn FR effect. It's a little bit tougher to use, and I'll explain why in a minute. Alright, let's pop the FR. Dual Darkness Aura. Okay, and we're going to combo up with Pain, which is a pretty nice combo. See how much damage we get here. Alright, 1.6. That's pretty heavy. It's pretty good. Now, this is a very maxed out Sice, though, right? But now we're getting, you know, the tornadoes, the vortexes, we're just going crazy, right? The vortexes just keep coming. Alright, and you see that we're getting off damage ticks here. Okay, so here's the way her FR works. So we saw that big AoE attack there, right? Force time effect is party HP damage limit goes up by 50% on weakness brave damage, which is good. And then the HP damage conditions are pretty simple. It's just any dark attack is 5%, and that counts for off turn. So the tornadoes will trigger it. And then 40% for any acting member who has a stacking buff or effect. So an example of this would be like Pinello, her Rumba Step, that's a stacking buff. So any of the buffs that like stack up and turn gold when they're maxed, that's an example of a stacking buff. Okay, Sice has it with her overhead is stacking, right? That's an example of a stacking buff. So it's 40% for free if you're running characters like that. Now in terms of the off turn, the one big flaw that Sice has is she dark enchants herself, but not the party. So if you want to say run like an off turn comp with like Core and you want to enchant him for dark, you'd have to run a, oh god, what's his name? The Final Fantasy 3 guy. Why am I blanking on names? Hold on, I'm going to go to Tom Berry Troop really quick. The Final Fantasy 3 guy, I'm struggling with names. Hold on, we're just going to go into infographics here really quick. I hate when I can't think of a name on the spot. Xande, oh my god, okay. So Xande is the only group party dark enchant call you can run. So if you're really going to do a defense comp around Sice, you'd want to bring a Xande call. Drop the Xande call on a very slow character like a Gladio or something, and then if you have Gladio and Core, their off turns will be dark damage and trigger with it, right? So this is why her FR isn't super hyped. It's just a little bit trickier to use. It's not the easiest to use, right? All right, but now that we got her back, let's go ahead and show off Dark Nebula Plus because we haven't done that yet. The way I think of Dark Nebula Plus, it's basically like It's very similar to Arenea's attack, the Dragoon Dive. It's a single target, like 2-turn delay, right? Now, here's the thing. You can combo this with the EX, because remember, I talked about that the EX will put the enemy behind the farthest back enemy. So see right now where the B enemy is really close to us, we can't see the A enemy. I'm actually going to use Dark Nebula, and I'm going to delay the A enemy even further back. So we can push them even further back. Now we have the EX, and so now what the EX will do, it's going to push the B enemy all the way back behind the A enemy while we're getting all of our off turn and stuff here, right? So this is really good to show off how you can strategize with her. And now all this off turn is dealing much heavier damage with the force time, right? So now if I go to the B enemy, let's do negative aura and watch. They're going to get shoved all the way back behind the A enemy. Really heavy delay here. Watch, all the way back, just off the screen. And now they're back behind the A enemy. So technically, Sice has the potential to have the hardest delay in the game. Literally, you push one enemy back as far as you can with her 35, and then when you pop the EX, then you can put the other enemy back with them. It's really cool. You can do some cool things with that, right? Now, I mean, I've got a Fatal Dance, right? Even though I have a Fatal Dance, I want to abuse the traps more. How many turns of Vortex are left on these guys, though? Oh, only one. Okay, so I will just Fatal Dance here. Because I was going to say, if they had a lot of turns of Vortex, I would just, like, instant turn through and finish these guys off. Because Penello's still going to get good gauge. Because Penello combos well because she's got a stacking buff. She's still going to get, like, 90-95% on ramping with this FR. Which is pretty good. But yeah, all this trap damage now is coming in pretty heavy, right? Laguna, I guess we'll just do an LD for damage. No point in really doing anything else here. And then with Sice, I got to refresh her Tenacious Vortex. So what I'm going to do with Sice is I'm going to refresh the Tenacious Vortex, and then I'm going to ramp with Penello, and we're going to let the traps just go off. That's what we're going to do. So there is some implications here, too, with a character like Jessie, and like if you ran Jessie, Laguna, Sice, Jessie's another character that can help you delay, it can help you take advantage of Sice's EX to delay, and then by delaying, you're keeping Laguna's trap up longer. So there are some interesting combos you can do here, right? So I am going to do the LD, and we're going to refresh Tenacious Vortex. Wow, big damage, yep. And then, yeah, now the Vortexes are going to be going crazy. So now watch this abuse I'm going to do here with Penello. Sure, I'm not going to Intercession. I'm actually going to regen Waltz. Okay, now watch, 95%. So she's still getting good gains here because she has a stacking buff. And then now we're just getting free off turns that are like over 1 million damage. And we're still popping Laguna. So Laguna's pops twice. So that was like 1.2 mil AoE there we did with Laguna, right? And I can just keep popping these. And we can probably just finish these guys on traps. If they don't die on the traps, then we can just pop like a big LD or something. I've got my Odin summon to back it up. So if you really enjoy the shenanigans we're doing here with the traps, like, Sice can be a really fun pickup for you. Yeah, let's just take this fight to the end here. And I'll have to decide, but I'm going to do something crazy like this probably on one of my Shinryu runs. We'll see. Dare to Defy, I don't have to use Sice, and I can't use Penello, so I might just try something like creative with that one. And then I might do another main run where I have Sice in the party for the ticket mission. Because what I'm hearing is the ticket mission doesn't get cleared, even if you use all the proper setups for it. So we'll see. Alright, so last ramp. So if they don't die here, we can just pop a nuke at the end, right? But you can see this is, yeah, that enemy popped. The Laguna trap's just going crazy. Just about dead. So, I mean, sure, we'll let Odin finish this one off. Or not Odin, sorry, brothers. I might have said Odin earlier. The brother summoned the big damage. So, anyways, guys, there you go. There's Sice. Very cool, interesting character. That being said, she's not really a must-pull, but if you like what you saw in this video, definitely go for her, build her up. She's a fun character. So, anyways, thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.